Water is life. A moving river has life. Have you seen a river, an ocean, a lake? When it moves in the current, think about Dunamis is that it makes noise, much like a lion roaring. You listen close. You can hear the river as it booms, much like the sound of the sea. The Bible uses the word, the roaring of the sea, to represent chaos, peoples, the multitudes. This is the multitudes of the flow of water. If you picture a river, a moving river, the more the flow, the stronger, the louder, the more powerful. If you want to know where your dunamis is, listen, pay attention, observe. The way you hear the lion roaring the most, that's your dunamis is. Dunamis works best if it's moving. But if it's moving, it's hard to see clearly through the mess, the underneath problem, and all the uncertainties. Only when it's still, when the water is still, then you truly see clearly. But if you are able to see clearly all the way down to the bottom, that's where days exist. A river is only alive if water is in motion. If it stops moving, it starts dying. If it stops moving, that's when the mosquitoes, they lay their eggs to give birth. Please, mosquitoes are not fun. We don't want mosquitoes around. But diseases, germs, filths exist during still water. Moving water that comes from God, not man, the living water. It's water that's alive, and it can give life. It comes from God. Now let's say you need to plug into Dunamis, a power source. It's not going to work unless you are aware what Dunamis is. Much like Elijah was told to go to the brook of Kerits, they waited. As he waited, the ravens dropped down food and he was able to eat. This is a story found in the Bible. The ravens would go to the brook whether Elijah was there or not. Elijah will not benefit unless he were where God told him to be. So, I can tell you this. Once, to be where you are going to be taken care of and provided for, to be empowered, to be energized, to be motivated, to be connected, find the dunamis is. Find out from God where you need to be. Otherwise, you are out in the desert, in a dry place. You are fixing to die. Don't do that. Love, peace, unity is like a dunamis. If you plug to it, it will empower you. It will enlarge your borders with good connections and healthy relationships. Division, hatred, it will leave you like in a desert where there is no habitat. You'll go weak, isolated. No one can live in an island. As people, we are created for relationships. Breaking relationship is easy, but mending is not. So don't give chances to break relationships, to break unity. Unity is power. Never forget the power of God is unstoppable. No matter how the challenge is, plug into this power, to this dunamis, to go through this time, to overcome the challenge, the obstacles, instead of to be maneuvered to go to the dark, to go to the hatred, to go to the negative side, or entertain prejudice. Don't do that. Pay attention, listen, observe, and always plug to your power source, and always operate from the center of your strength, not your weakness. Because weakness will take us down and be defeated. You can either plug in and become powered to help other people for the glory of God, or you can be unplugged, unused and useless, and therefore dead. Again, having said that, I want to encourage you to stay focused, to pay attention, to listen, to observe. Never blink your eyes from your primary focus, especially right now as we are going through a warfare and our mind is a battleground that our opponents are targeting to attack through a subtle manipulation by providing you different storylines and narratives. Sometimes using their masked lobbyists through medias to communicate to you and feed you this subtle agenda that is strategized to be well accomplished by using you to do their dirty work, but aimed at your own fall. That way to advance their vision of colonialism and slavery. This is the pattern for the last 2.5 years is operating in Ethiopia. It has been tested and proven, has defeated certain demography in Ethiopia. And now they're trying to find an avenue to approach you where you can be found. Pay attention, observe, use wisdom and discernment. That's why again and again we remind you to stay focused, to pay attention, and to really listen. The underneath motive when someone speaks. Because in this historical betrayal and deception arena of war we are in, that finding a trustworthy person isn't scarce. The good person, they might take it back they might have taken him or her to the dark and become like them, or they might use that person to get you, to exploit you, to use you, to defeat you. This is their strategy. So a spoken word is a powerful, and it creates, whether that what it creates is distraction and division or something positive. You pay attention, use common sense, use your instincts, use your knowledge, use your mind without being emotional to engage into, because it's easy to engage. There's a high potential also. Sometimes people are fickle, sometimes they are emotional. They can say in response to irritation, But sometimes they might have also a motive. So there is a high potential they might use you on people. You could possibly working behind the scenes against you, or they appear to the media frequently to address volatile, sensitive issues and pronouncedly and loudly advocate for you to go out to act and react. That's when you should raise your eyebrow and question the person's motive for repeatedly nailing this issue to entice you and provoke you to do the expected. Act and react. Because that could be a setup menu to pull you in. That somebody might use this person to their agenda, to the enemy agenda, for them to win by using you to go to with their plan. There's no gain in hatred. There's no gain in division. Because others are doing bad things, if you copycat and do likewise, all hell loose. You will lose. You will get hurt. You won't benefit. You won't get any solution that way. What makes Instagram people succeed so far is because they don't engage in that. Remember this, never forget. So the enemy is roaring like a lion to devour. Those who are not paying attention and easily can be deceived. As this is how the patterns are fought. As they dangle something in front of you as a bait to attract or to provoke. Then when you go for it, to catch that bait or to engage emotionally in response to an irritation, that is there intentionally to entice you, to hook you and trap you, so that you can't escape their schemes of cunning, to weaken you through their only strategy, divide and conquer, then to defeat you. First they will divide you among yourself, and then divide you with other people, the way their motive is showing. Controlling our emotion is very important. When we are upset, it's good to chill out, relax, than to go in the media and communicate for other people to act and react, to respond in hatred. A message of defection. That's a no zone, no be there. That doesn't help anyone. That's why every day you need to protect your headquarters. That's your mind, and making sure it's free of the enemy's radar target on. That way you can secure your ground wherever you are. You can smell the smoke of the grenade that revealed through a spoken word that has been already aimed to have its damaging effect as it's dropped in the package of delivered message that's full of toxic. The difference between the real grenade dynamite and the manipulative verbal dynamite the enemy is using against you to win this battle is that you have less control of the unseen grenade blast and its physical damage in the ground. Whereas you have 100% full control of the most catastrophic, damaging virtual dynamite executed through the media as spoken verbal words, if you pay attention, if you observe. Otherwise, like the camera, in front of the camera, we see Kylo Ren, the girl in the dark, and this is a cheerful Casper, angel. Those people play chess. Unless you make the best move, the bad guy can turn you into becoming like him, a bad person. Will take you to the dark, to the chaos, to the destruction. Look, the Ethiopian caretaker, Abiy Ahmed. They want someone. They don't want to be only them who's doing what they are doing. They want you to steal your peace, your joy, your unity, your nobility. Don't go to the dark. Protect your mind and secure your ground by using your mind and discernment. Discretion will guard you, understanding will watch over you to deliver you from the ways of the evil, says the scripture. So we need discretion, understanding. Otherwise, the ways of evil is destruction, chaos, and death. Don't give in to that. Whoever, from wherever the source comes, a message of division or hatred. Otherwise, it will incapacitate your mind and will cripple you, as it affects directly your brain, your thinking process. When you start to act and react in the division and hatred department, mental fist fight, then you will lose. You focus from the core battle that way. You will fast dive to your own fall and surrender and be captured. Remember, we are in a war. We are in a warfare. This is a strategy. This is a psychological war. Will you be deceived when somebody tells you, oh, do this, act, react? That's how they defeated millions of Ethiopians. That's how. So it will be easily be defeated and be captured by your enemies at a larger scale than the physical damage in the scope of a hidden grenade can possibly affect in such a way. I'm sure grenade, everybody knows a grenade is like a bomb, but it has a smaller scale damage. This is why we say the media is a powerful weapon. And don't underestimate the subtle grenade hidden to attack you by being alert and be aware that the image is not immune from this. The enemy can approach it, can test it, can use different people. Even that person might not know. Sometimes people be communicated to say something without knowing the enemy's agenda. It might be the person's stand. People might be choose to respond for hatred or by giving back what others is behaving or acting or whatever. So don't go to the dark. Choose your battle, because not all battles are wars to fight. and it has consequences and it's cost. So the only way you can stop it is by not reacting. Nobody is responsible for somebody's action and reaction, but we are responsible for our own action and reaction. So hold that power, negative power, that will harm everybody. Nobody will benefit in that kind of approach. You wouldn't, we reap what we sow. If you're going to engage in hatred, that's what you will reap later on. If you're going to sow division, go for it. That's what you're going to reap. But we, messages, don't do it. It doesn't serve you any good. Learn from your leaders. Everything they do it wisely. They communicate respectfully. They're collected and calm, even in the midst of a war. If you follow other people's reaction, emotionality, they will drag you down to your fall. So pay attention. And don't ignore this kind of things also, because through time it's piling up, it will be a damage that has a potential. How many targeted segments at a time can subtly be attacked with unexpected hidden grenade at the image platform? That should be the image you need to have and to ask, to question, because we are in a war through all dimensions and direction. Remember, in the art of war, smart beats speed. Speed beats strength. That means smart beats them all. So be smart and act quickly to do damage control than to repeat those kind of negative messages, to allow it to appear in the media, in your platform, because it will affect your own target segment unless you choose wisely what you cater to your audience. Your audience have different level of understanding. Not all people can have the discernment. So you will risk as a people to be misled or deceived. So this is dangerous. So be smart. Pay attention to evaluate your recent bait attract strategy that I strongly oppose. And this will defeat the people of Tigray. Don't do it. Let us explain further to diagnose a certain possible approach. The enemy is using your own platform, let's say, because that's where you can be found easily to be targeted and maneuver to the direction of the enemy wants you to take, the direction they want you to take. Remember, we are in a warfare, and most of the defeats are happening virtually through the psychological war in the social media. So, protect your venue, your platform, secure your ground, and encourage your audience to stay positive. Message of unity, message of love, message of peace is far more powerful than message of division. I don't know the person what don't see the consequence. Sometimes people see only the here and the now and what's in front of us. We are in the unprecedented time dealing with different challenges. COVID is one big issue in relation to that financial situation. To different people is not an easy time. In order to harm other people, to communicate your own people, say, don't associate or don't engage in the business with this and that in the other way, it's going to harm the business, the income. And those people, our income is also supporting people back home. If you want to win this battle, operate from the source of your strengths. Learn from the mistake of other people. A wise person learns from others' mistakes before he go to that and pay for it and learn through the hard way. Because others are doing doesn't mean it's right, or it doesn't mean they benefit. So we have to question the motive why such information is targeting you. So we encourage you to plug into your Dunamis, the source of your power. The source of power in a positive way that you hold on to is more effective to attack, not only to attack, to destroy the enemies. Don't underestimate the power you have without going to the dark if you use it effectively.